Morning. It is Sunday, and it is the first Sunday after Christmas. Christmas was on Friday, and I hope you all had a really great Christmas holiday and got to spend time with friends and family and did all the things that you like to do on Christmas. We had a really nice day on Friday. Carried it into Saturday. Actually, I usually like to do these things on Saturday, but the truth is we sort of just had still lots of Christmas stuff going on Saturday, and didn't have much of a chance to do anything until today. So it is actually the third day of Christmas today. I don't know if I until recently wasn't aware that the day count actually starts on Christmas Day. I had always assumed that it was 12 days leading up to Christmas. But yeah, so if today being the third day, you might want to stay away from any local bird markets because there's going to be a run on what is for French hens, calling birds. There's going to be a run on calling birds. Anyway, yeah, it's funny. There is this misconception about the Christmas season and the idea that the Christmas season ends on Christmas Day, and the truth is that's when the Christmas season really begins. At least for people that are following it from a faith-based perspective. Of course, if you're just enjoying secular Christmas, then stop having fun. The rest of us will continue for a bit. No, it's crazy, some of the political nonsense around the use of the word Christmas and holiday and all that. But thankfully, at least that will die down at this point for a while. And don't want to get into politics because well, that would take an awful lot of time. So this morning I'm enjoying going back to basics here, a corncob pipe with some Carter Hall in it. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I had any Carter Hall because I've been spending so much time on the Christmas blends and trying different things, and that's all been great. I have tried a couple of additional tobaccos, well, tried or revisited, I guess is the word. But Carter Hall will always be a staple for me, and in the morning, especially with some coffee, it's just ideal. If you haven't tried it, you should. If you don't like it, well, that's more Carter Hall for me. And this cob is one that I've modified. I actually have, I do a couple things to these. Nothing really remarkable. Cobs smoke really well when you just, from from Missouri Meerschaum. But you can see there's a little bit of a marking on here. Let me see if I can focus on that for you. So you see that little copper band right there. I add that to indicate that this is one that I've actually modified. And what I do is I play around a bit in the bowl. I take out some of the extra wood that's in there. I put a layer of what's called pipe mud, which is basically cigar ash and distilled water. Build up the bottom and establish the draft hole where it should be. I've been working on making my own acrylic stems for these. I haven't yet gotten that down just right, but I'm working on it. So maybe when I get that done, I'll do a couple of videos on how I modify these. But I don't want to make you think that they have to be modified. They are fantastic pipes, just from the store, or from the online supplier, or from Missouri Meerschaum themselves. In fact, Missouri Meerschaum, many may not know this, they have a deal where I think it's $30. They'll send you 10 of their seconds. And I've done this, and of the 10 pipes, there's only been like one or, at the most, one or two where I said, that's just ugly, I'm not going to even try to smoke that. The other ones have been really nice pipes, and I've taken some of those. This is not one. This is one that I bought as a country gentleman from probably smokingpipes.com or Pipes and Cigars, one of those. But if you go directly to Missouri Meerschaum, you can buy these boxes of seconds, and for $30, $3 a pipe, it's a nice deal if you like corncob pipes. So the Christmas was good, as I already mentioned. There was, of course, the mandatory exchanging of gifts, and I hope if you exchanged gifts that you were gifted in a way that makes you happy. I, of course, am just doing this as a preamble to brag about my gift. My wife and I, we were in a different situation than probably many of you are. We don't have children. We've been together for a fairly long time. Married 18 years. In 2016 it will be 18 years. But we knew one another for probably about 5 years prior to that. So, we know one another pretty well, and if we need something during the course of the year, we buy it. It's not, when it comes to Christmas time, making lists is kind of a silly thing for us. We really don't have a lot of, oh, I really would like that, because we've already gotten it, for the most part. So every year we get up to this, like the week before Christmas, and hey, you still haven't told me what you want, and some years it winds up being a bunch of silliness, and it's fine. It's all in good fun. Other years, there'll be something that really stands out, and this year for me was something that really stands out. My darling wife, and I am a very lucky man, purchased this little beauty for me, and this is let me see if I can get the name in here. This is a Lie-Nielsen dovetail saw. It's a tapered dovetail saw. There you can hopefully see it's ripped configuration for dovetails, obviously. Why that's not focusing well. But it's a beautiful saw. I mean, the quality on the Lie-Nielsen tools is just unbelievable. You can see the handle and the details on the brass nuts there. Very nice thick brass backing, beautiful blade, and we're never going to be able to get a focus on the teeth, but they're hand sharpened, hand cut, hand sharpened. Well, I don't know if they're hand cut, but they're just a wonderful, wonderful tool. And I have resisted the temptation to use this so far because I've got so many other things going on, but I desperately want to try to cut a couple of dovetails with this. So I'm a happy guy this year. And it was a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, she's not the sort that would just randomly buy me a tool, so she did remember that I had talked about it, and dropped a few hints, to be honest, but never really expected it. So it was quite a nice surprise. I won't tell you what I surprised her with because it's embarrassing. I didn't do as good a job as she did. Let's just leave it at that. I've been having a bit of problem with my old Zippo lighter here. I bought this, boy, it was a long time ago. It's one of the Zippos with the brass Zippos with the little pipe emblem on it. I bought it when I was living in Pittsburgh, so I left Pittsburgh in '95, so I've had this lighter a very long time, and it broke. Actually, it's a somewhat funny story, but the top of this, so if you haven't seen these, they have the normal Zippo has a screen that goes all the way around, which is what makes it windproof. The pipe lighters have a hole, which is this large circular area here, so that you can turn it sideways and draw the flame downward. And they work great. I think they work great. I mean, some people love them, some people hate them, but that's true with anything. So a few years ago, I sent this back to Zippo because the top of this chimney had come off, and actually I lost it. I was just pushing it back on for a while, but I lost the piece. And that when you light it, the flame was difficult to control. Sent it back to Zippo. They sent me back a whole new insert, cleaned up the case, and then sent back an insert free. Zippo's an amazing company. They lifetime guarantee their products, and all you have to do is pay the shipping. So it's been working fine for several years now, but lately I was having a problem where I was going to, see it lit on the first strike there. I was striking sometimes 8-10 times before I could get the thing lit. And it was, to be honest, it was starting to cause a bit of discomfort because the wheel isn't exactly smooth and you're dragging your thumb over it repeatedly. Not to sound too wimpy, but it got to me after a while. It turned out from looking at it closely that this wheel was glazing, and I'm not sure why. I've never seen that happen with a Zippo before. Might have been a low quality batch of flints or something, but this was not. It was not as gritty as it should be, and I think it had somehow gotten glazed with something from the flint or maybe something in the fuel, and that was lubricating it as it went around rather than causing it to strike enough spark to light the lighter. So I took this apart, I submerged the insert upside down in enough naphtha just to cover up the insert, so just enough to bring it up to there. The case was off, so I wasn't worried about staining the case or anything. Left it soak for about an hour and then took a wire brush and scrubbed that wheel off, and it's now striking much better. I mean, it's still not always hitting on the first, now it will. Not always hitting on the first strike, but sometimes I'm a little absent-minded in how I do it, not as not as direct as I should be, I guess. If I thought about it, I could probably always get it to strike on the first time. Anyway, tip for you Zippo users if you run into that problem. I've wondered if it might be something about the new fuel formulation, because they have apparently switched to a paraffin oil-based fuel over naphtha. Something about shipping constraints. So paraffin sounds like the sort of thing that could build up over time and cause that wheel to become lubricated rather than get the proper friction against the flint. But I'm at this point just making stuff up. It's a one-off happening, and anyway, if you use a Zippo and you've noticed that, let me know. I'd be curious, and if you want more details on how I fixed it, I'd be happy to provide those. So that's about all I've got to talk about today. Actually, that's more than I thought I had to talk about, because I wasn't going to go into Zippo repair. But I hope you've all had a great Christmas once again, and enjoy the coming weeks. Certainly best wishes for the new year, and hope you all have a great time on New Year Eve if that's your thing. And I will see you again in the new year. I've got there'll be a Wednesday update on the LJ Peretti pipe. I think it's the last video in that series, so if you're following, you'll get a chance to see that pipe completed. That's something else I wanted to mention. Subscribers, I'm shocked and really honored that I passed the 50 subscriber point sometime last week or so. I'm amazed that there's more than a handful of people out there that are interested in what I'm doing here, and the fact that there's that many really is great. Makes me really happy, and makes me feel like I'm doing something that's of interest to some of you. So that's really a nice thing. So thank you to all the people that have subscribed to this, and in particular to those that have subscribed over the past week or two, because you brought me over that mark. But to all of you, I appreciate you. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so, because there's room for more. At any rate, I will have an update out on Wednesday. I will certainly be back again. I don't know what day New Year falls on, but I believe it's before the next weekend. So if that's the case, I will see you in 2016 with a New Year update, or a weekend update on the New Year. And I'll look forward to that. So until then, take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Goodbye now.